And then, of course, there was Paramount with I used to say my $2 billion ex-friend Barry Diller, who entered the fray after we actually had a contract. And that was a fierce battle. And Diller had going from what he still has today, and we're friends again, but he has what we'll call the Diller sizzle. And, that was his principal asset. So he was trying to marry a shopping channel to Paramount, and we were offering a company that was already very vibrant, including the MTV networks. But it was a very, very tough battle. We had made a deal already with Davis and with Paramount, so it wasn't a question. The reason I felt so strongly, because Diller was supposed to be my friend, had we been openly competing for Paramount, it would have been one thing. But we had a deal, we had a contract, and he came at it. Because he has a different point of view on the propriety than I do. And, that involved litigation, it involved a year of bidding. We were working day and night. We had to raise tons of money in order to keep the battle up. That brought us to Blockbuster. That brought us to then Ninex and my friend Ivan Seidenberg, who invested $1.25 billion in the battle. Now Verizon, of course. He's still on our board. It was very, very difficult. And then there were times we thought we were going to run out of money, and that's when Blockbuster became so important to us, because Blockbuster had a huge cash flow. This battle went on day and night. We had a war room, and we just kept going. Some people thought we overpaid. When it was all over, they were wrong. Let me tell you the clincher. Finally, at the very end, we offered what they call a VCR. Basically, it was a guarantee to the stockholders when our stock was something like 35, that in a given period of time they'd get 55. That was a big gamble. But we were convinced that we knew how to manage the company, we would make it more valuable. And Diller, it was kind of interesting. I remember standing by the Quotron as his offer came over, money, stock, whatever. And once we saw that he wouldn't do the same thing, because he wasn't going to give them that kind of a guarantee with what I call a shopping channel selling zircon jewelry, that we know we won, although we hadn't technically won, and he didn't know we won. But that was the key to it, that guarantee. And I will never forget the night we were at 21, a few of us, and they were out soliciting votes, although we thought we had won, because the investment community was smart enough to know the value of having that kind of guarantee on where their stock would be in 2 years. And when we got over 51% of the vote, I held up a glass and said to my associates, "Here's to us who won." It was really a very emotional moment. Barry, on the other hand, was asked the same, how he felt, and I remember his answer. They won, we lost, next. So it was kind of an emotional time, I guess, on both sides.
How do you feel about that acquisition today?
Well, this so-called deal from hell, which was what they called it, became a hell of a deal. To give you an idea, the attributable value of Simon & Schuster at that time was $2.1 billion. We sold the educational part for $4.6 billion. When you add up what we sold, what we kept, we're left with a value of about plus $4 billion, plus we got the studio, the television operation for nothing.
What about
so
the
it turned out to be a
libraries?
great, well, including and the library, everything else. We ended up with that for nothing, plus $4 billion in cash or value.
What's the greatest value within that asset?
Well, it's pretty hard to, we have parks, we have theaters, we have a big television operation that's produced shows like Frasier and so many other big shows, Entertainment Tonight. I guess, the whole Paramount operation and its library enabled me to achieve my dream of creating the number one software-driven media company in the world, and we are today the number one software-driven media company in the world.